it out. But I want to talk about this. See the lowercase a? That's supposed to be a lowercase a.
No, I am recording it.
Hold on.
So
this is supposed to be a lowercase a. Let's see. Okay, so if I have a lowercase a and an uppercase a, these are actually two different characters, okay? They're characters. The 2 is a character. The exclamation point is a character. Even a space, okay? If I hit the space bar and I put a space between words, this is a kind of character, okay? And these could all these characters could be inside of a string. Let me actually get rid of the quantities. So that's a string, okay? And and let me tell you something, okay? It's really not complicated, and we're going to see a lot of it. So if you want to kind of get used to the idea of a string, don't worry. We're going to be using strings in our code, okay? So you'll be able to understand what a string is when you see us using it more and more in our code, okay? So far I've talked about 2 different kinds of data types. I've talked about numbers, and I've talked about strings, okay? So my age, let me see. Oh man, my age is a number. My age is 37. My name is a string. My name is David. Okay? And then there's a third data type that I want to talk to you guys about. Okay? But it has a funny name, okay? Are you guys ready for this funny name? It's a Boolean. Everybody say Boolean. That's a funny word. I love that word. Okay, so what is a Boolean, you guys? A Boolean is something that's either true or not. It's either there or it's not. Okay, so for instance, let's say you turn the light on in a room. You can say the light is on in the room. Or the light is off. If somebody asks, is the light on? Then you can either say yes or you can say no. Okay? So you could have, either you understand what I'm saying or you don't, right? Either a door could be open or it could be closed, okay? So a Boolean is kind of like, it's almost like it's either going to be yes or no, okay? So I'll say yes. Yes, I understand what a Boolean is, okay? Okay, but honestly, you guys, rather than saying yes or no, instead of yes or no, when we talk about Booleans, we talk about things as if they're either true. Okay, we all know what true means, right? Like if something is true, we all know what that means. But the opposite of true, if something is not true, then we call that false, okay? And it starts with an F. False. So this is true, T-R-U-E, that's true. And this is false, F-A-L-S. And if something is false, that just means no. It's not true, okay? If something is true, then yes, it is true, okay? So true is kind of like saying yes. False is a little bit like saying no, that's not true. Okay? So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today, which is the 3 data types. We're thinking about numbers, or we could talk about strings, which is just like letters and symbols and things like that. And then a Boolean could either be true or false. Okay? Could either be true or not true. We could either have yes or no, on or off. And then if I wanted to use a number for Booleans, I can even use numbers for Booleans. You guys ready for this? This is the last thing I'll say about Booleans, okay? If all I have is numbers, you guys, and I want to say, I'm trying to like say it as I go along. I know I'm putting words on the screen, but if I want to talk about true and false, and all I have to go with is numbers, the number that I can use to say yes is the number 1. Okay, so if you see a number 1, and you want to know whether that number means true or not true, a number 1 means true. A number 1 means yes. Okay? And then the number 0 means no. Okay? And this is a coding class. So we are talking about coding ideas. Okay? So, all right. So remember, like, let's see. Let's go to Scratch. Let's actually use some of these ideas. I want to use a string. I've already used a number a little bit, but I want to use a string. Okay, so Tammy, I do appreciate feedback and suggestions. All right. So thank you for that. Now I'm going to go into Scratch, okay? So here I am on scratch.mit.edu. I certainly hope everybody has an account by now. And if not, then this is how it's going to look, okay? I'll just bring it up in a new browser. Okay, yes, we can have the link. We'll put it in chat, okay? Okay, so I'm going to go to Scratch like I've never been there before, okay? This is what it looks like if I've never been there before, and I just go to scratch.mit.edu. Here, let me copy this, and I'll paste it in the chat, okay? And I hope that everybody has their parents next to them to help them out with everything that I'm talking about today. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much benefit there would be, but let's see. Okay, so there's the link, okay? So this is what you should see when you first go to the Scratch website, okay? And I really want to make sure that everybody has their parents next to them and that everybody is actually creating an account on this Scratch website, okay? Because this is where we're going to create the code and practice coding, okay? So we go to Join Scratch, okay? This is JOIN space C or SCRATCH. That spells Join Scratch, okay? So go there. And then there's a little box for you to put in your name. And there's a little box to put in a secret password. And then a second box to put the same secret password so that you know what it says. And then when you say next, it's going to ask you for your parents' email. So you put your parents' email, and then your parents will get an email asking them to confirm. And then you'll be ready to share your projects with the world, okay? You'll be ready to start creating your own projects and looking at other people's projects and remixing projects and everything, okay? But I'm going to go in here and I'm going to talk a little bit more about Scratch. We talked a little bit about the interface last time, but I'd like to kind of talk a little bit more about it. Actually, let me bring up the project that we worked on last time. Sorry about that. Let me go over here to my projects. So if I go, let me just show you how I got here, just so that I don't go too fast. You can go up there, or from the main page. From the main page, you have a folder up here. Right next to my name, to the left of my name, is a little folder icon, okay? I'm going to click that, and that's going to bring me to all my projects, okay? Marcus, I'm going to appreciate it if we respect all the panelists by not spamming the keyboard, okay? Or respect all the attendees, please. Okay. Yes, we can have a moment to create the account. I want everybody to create the account. But if you can't create the account in time, then what I would suggest is to just hold that thought and pay close attention to what I'm doing. Maybe draw a picture while you listen to me and watch me, so that oh my goodness, I have messages. Oh, this is what happens. I didn't know what the message functionality it was, but I guess I'll find out today. Okay, so let's see. Only post questions and answers, yes. Okay, so I guess while we're waiting on a few people to create accounts, what I can show you guys in the meantime is I can go over here to the Explore tab, And here I can see a lot of different games that other people have made. So I can just go and I can look at all the different programs that all the other boys and girls have created, and it's lots of fun. Okay? Yeah, that's the idea. You would go to join Scratch, and then you would put your name and you would put your password and everything like that. But listen, you guys, we only have a limited time, so if you don't have an account yet, then just like make note of that and go ahead and create an account after class is over. Okay? If you're not done yet, then just sit tight and pay attention to me and what I'm doing. Okay? So put it away and put me back on and watch what I'm doing, okay, please? So I'm going to go up here to the folder, and I'm going to grab the same project that I was working on last time. It should be Tuesday, Thursday, 11. So I have it somewhere. Do I have it? Oh, did I put it? Did I name it? I must have forgotten to name it. What did it even look like, you guys? Tuesday, Thursday, 11? Is this what I'm up to? Well, usually Thursday is not abbreviated with an H. Usually Thursday is abbreviated with an R. Okay, Tuesday, Thursday, 11. Very good. Okay, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go into See Inside to go inside my project. And this is the project that we made last time. Do you guys remember what I was doing? I had my event listener here, which switches to bedroom 3, and then it sets my kitty speed variable to a number, which is 100, okay? And then I had other event listeners too. I had the when space key pressed, I have the when up arrow key pressed, I have the when right arrow key pressed, and when the down arrow key is pressed, okay? So let me put these, and when the left arrow key is pressed. So I'm going to put these in order like this. When up arrow is pressed, when the right arrow is pressed, when the left arrow is pressed, and when the down arrow is pressed. Okay, so let's remember how all this worked, okay? This is a lot of code here. Let's review it. Let's look at it again, you guys. These yellow blocks here, I'm going to click on the Events tab to go to the Events tab, and I hope that your parents are with you so that we can all learn how to use Scratch so that they can help you when you want to use your projects. Okay? So this is for everybody. This is for the kids and the parents, okay? Because I want you guys to succeed. So over here we have our events blocks, okay? And these ones with the little sunrise, they're gonna represent, they're gonna wait and listen for an event. So what's an event? Let's say you order pizza, okay? Does anybody like to order pizza? We're gonna make games right now. Look, we're halfway there, okay? We already have the kitty moving around. Look, see, he can move around. So we're getting closer. All right, we're gonna make some games. All right, so when we order pizza and the pizza delivery man comes to our door, what does he do when he gets to our door? He's gonna ring the doorbell, right? So that's an event, okay? When you hear your doorbell, like do or however it sounds, okay? Whenever you hear your doorbell ring, that's an event, okay? And you were probably sitting, if you're hungry, you're sitting around, you're listening for that, right? You're listening for that event, okay? So an event is just something that happens, and an event listener is something that waits around for that thing to happen. So in this scenario of the pizza, the doorbell is the event, and you are the event listener because you're listening for the doorbell. And then as soon as the doorbell rings, then what do you do? What do you do once the doorbell rings? You probably go to the front door, right? You go and you answer the door, you open the door, exactly. Okay, so you're going to do something when that event happens. When you hear the doorbell ring, then you're going to do something. Okay, so that's what's called we're going to have, there's a fancy programming word for that, which is callback, okay? But all in all, these blocks are kind of like they represent something. So this is the event listener. It's going to listen for an event. And this block right here listens for when the flag is clicked. Here's the flag up here. When I click the flag, anything that I attach to this is going to happen. All this code right here, this is called the callback, okay? A callback. And this is what we do when the event happens. So it says switch to bedroom 3. What if I put a different background? Okay, let me put a different, I'll put a blue sky background. So right now he's in a blue sky background. But I have this code block here that says switch backdrop to bedroom 3. And then set kitty speed to 100. Okay, well the kitty speed's kind of already 100. So maybe I'll change, oh, I already clicked it. See what happens when you click a block in Scratch, it runs it. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back to my blue sky. And let me actually drag this up. Okay? So I'm only going to switch to the bedroom. Here, I'll take this off. Let's just focus on one thing at a time, okay? When I click the flag, then it's going to switch to the bedroom 3, okay? So once again, I have my event listener, and I have a callback. And I have to attach the callback to the event listener, and all together it makes what's called an event handler. Okay, so watch what happens. When I click the flag, it's going to change to the bedroom. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you're with me so far, then you understand how events work. You understand event listeners, you understand event handlers, and that's a really big part of coding, okay? So you should pat yourself on the back. That's a really important step to coding. Now let's look at the rest of my code and talk about it a little bit. Here I have one that says, when the space key is pressed, switch the backdrop to the beach and say hello for 2 seconds. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit the space, and when I hit the space, what's gonna happen when I hit the space bar? He's gonna go to the beach, and he's gonna say hello. Ready? 1, 2, 3. See how he says hello? Okay, so once again, this is what I'm going to do. The blue blocks here are what I'm going to do, and the yellow block is the event listener. This listens for the events, okay? So I'm also listening for, if I press the up arrow, then it's going to change Y by kitty speed, and Y is up and down. So if I add to Y, then I go up. If I take away from Y, then I go down, okay? And if I add to X, then I go right. And if I take away from X, then I go left. Okay, so
I have to do a meeting.
So you guys, you know your letters, right? You know the letters of the alphabet, right?
Yes, I have a job, Gordon.
So what are the last 3 letters of the alphabet? Who can tell me the last 3 letters?
Yeah.
Does anybody
Now
know?
It does not work.
What do you say before you say, now I know my ABCs? Okay, a lot of people know. Good. You guys know your ABCs. Very good. Okay. I don't know why we use these letters, but those letters X and Y mean different. They're sort of the names that we give to different numbers that tell us where on the screen, where on the beach the kitty is, okay? Where is the kitty, okay? We can know, if we know the X number and the Y number, then we'll know, okay? So right now, if I look down here in my sprites panel, this is my sprite panel where I control my sprites and I see their properties. I can rename my sprite. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll name him Kitty. K-I-T-T-Y, okay? Boy, oh boy, if you didn't know how to read and write before this class, you're going to know when we get out, I'll tell you what. Because we're going to be doing a lot of reading and writing, okay? So this sprite has a name Kitty, okay? So he also has an X number, which tells us how far right and left he is, okay? The bigger this number is, the more to the right he is, okay? And here's a number that we call Y. And this tells us how far up he is. If I add to Y, then he goes further up. See, that says 118, okay? So 118 what, you might be asking. And we might have talked about this last time, but it certainly bears repeating. It's talking about something called a pixel. Now, does anybody know what a pixel is? If you know what a pixel is, go ahead and say so in chat. It's kind of hard to explain, isn't it? Okay, let me see if I can, maybe I put it here. Yes, I did. I have it right here. I have it right here. It's a small square, that's right. There's small squares that we use to build up a picture. Okay, so here I have a picture, okay? And say who this is if you know. But it's two pictures of the same character, or the same person, okay? This picture has lots of squares, and as you can see, each one of these squares has really big, it only has one color. But would you believe me if I told you that both of these pictures were made with these kinds of squares? These squares are called pixels. And if I actually look really closely at this one, I can see that there's a lot of really small pixels. This picture is made with pixels too. They're just very small. They're so small that I didn't notice. Okay? So that's what a pixel is. So let's go back. Every time I press the up arrow, he adds kitty speed number of pixels to his position. So that's 100 pixels right there because kitty speed is 100. What if I change this to 1? Right? Did we do this last time? Let's see. Let's find out. Okay, if kitty speed is 1, to change it to 1, remember what I have to do. It's listening for event. What is it listening for? It's listening for when I click the flag. So I'm going to click the flag. And then you're going to see this go from 100 to back down to 1. So I'm going to ready, click. Okay, so now he also put him in the bedroom. That was another thing that this event handler did, okay? But look at what happens when I press over. I'm going to press right, and then the kitty's going to move right, okay? And I want you to look at the kitty closely to see if you can see how far he moves. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you see him move? I set the kitty speed by going down here. Listen, when you have a variable, okay, this is a set kitty speed to 1. Okay, I got that block inside the variables part. So you go to variables, and there it is, set, S-E-T, changes the value of the variable. Okay, and you can use a drop-down menu to pick which variable you want to change. Okay, to make a variable, this is also in the variables tab, there's a white make a variable button. And then you can give it a name. So I'm going to give him a name. Let's give the kitty a name, okay? So the kitty's name is going to be what? What's the kitty's name, you guys? I don't know. You guys tell me. Rex was the first answer. Okay. The kitty's name is Rex. So I'm going to make a variable. Oh, come on. I got to make a variable. I'm going to make a variable called kitty name. Remember, guys, there's special rules for naming variables. I start with a lowercase letter, and I go I-T-T-Y, and then I start the next word with a capital letter. So an N, capital N, and an A-M-E, okay? And that's just a matter of preference. So then I say okay. Okay, there's no spaces. That's the important thing. There's no spaces in variable names, okay? We don't put spaces between our words when we name variables, okay? We do when we're writing. So now, here, let me put the set kitty speed to 1 back on the when flag clicked. I want to make sure that whenever my game begins, I'm setting the variables, okay? But there's another variable that I'm going to set, okay? I'm going to set kitty name to Rex, okay? Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind for a second. What was I talking about before I brought up variables again? Oh yeah, that's right, you guys. I was talking about moving the kitty by 1 pixel. So let me do it again. Because now that my kitty speed is 1, that means that these are changing, let's see, the up arrow is changing X by kitty speed. The down arrow is changing it's changing Y by the opposite of 1 kitty speed. And to get the opposite of a number, I gotta do something called multiplying it by -1. And once again, I'm going to share my code with you guys. So if you want to know how to get the opposite of a number, just go to my code and just do what I did here. This is how you get the opposite of a number, okay? You put this, you go to the operators, you grab the operator with the little star, and that's called multiplication, okay? That's called a multiplication block. And to get the opposite of a number, I multiply it by something called -1 or -1, okay? Don't worry too much about that part, you guys. I just want you to pay attention to how big a pixel is, okay? So let's talk about how big is a pixel. We're going to know by every time I click the button, he's going to move by 1 pixel, okay? Are you guys ready? I'm going to make him move again, okay? I'm going to press up, and he's going to move up. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Did you see it? Did you see him move up? Yes, some people saw it. Some people said yes. Okay, I'm going to do it again, okay? Watch carefully. Watch carefully. 1, 2, 3. He just moved up by 1 pixel. Okay, you guys, for those of you who saw it, you're absolutely right. He definitely moved, and I saw it move too. But the thing is that he moved by such a small amount. Remember when I was looking at my picture? Remember how big the pixels are when it's just a normal picture? Like, look how deep I have to go in before I can even notice the squares. See how small they are? So that's why it doesn't look like he's moving when you only move by 1 pixel. But watch what happens when I hold the button down. If I hold the up arrow down, then you see he moves smoothly upward, okay? And I can hold right and he moves smoothly to the right, okay? Okay, but let's see, one more idea here. So we talked about different data types, okay? So far, we have one variable we're calling kitty speed, and we'll set that, we'll set it, you know what, 1's too small, you guys. Let's set it to 6. I think 6 is good for the kitty speed. So now to set my kitty speed to 6, and also to set my kitty name to Rex, I'm gonna have to click the flag, right? When we click the flag, we go to the bedroom, and then his speed changes to 6, and his name is gonna change to the string of capital R, lowercase e, lowercase x, which spells his name, which is Rex, okay? So there we go. Now he has a name. So let's do it. When I hit space, he says hello for 2 seconds. But then I'm going to go to my looks block and I'm going to add to this. Okay, so I'll hit space and then he says hello. Okay, that's fine, but I want him to say hello, my name is Rex. So to do that, you guys, I'm going to go up here to the looks blocks. Looks is spelled L-O-O-K-S, and this is how I can change the way that my cat looks or change things that I see. Okay, so one of the things that I see is I see when the kitty says hi, okay? So I have a say block, and I'm going to put this right down here. Instead of saying hello, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to change this to, ready? We're going to be reading and writing today. Say my, M-Y, and then I hit the space bar to put spaces between my words. And then does anybody know how to spell name? It's N-A-M, and then there's a little silent E. Look at that silent E. And then I put another space. And then I say is, okay? And then I can say down here, I'm going to grab another one. Okay, one more block for this. But instead of hello, I'm going to go to my variables, right? Because remember, I have this variable for the kitty's name, okay? So I'm going to grab the kitty's name and I'm going to put it right down here. Just put it right inside there. So let's review. When I hit the space bar, he's going to switch to the beach, which I could even put him back in the bedroom with the flag, right? Because the flag puts him in the bedroom, right? So I'll put him in the bedroom. There you go, little kitty. But when I hit the space bar, when space key pressed, okay, Then it's going to switch the backdrop to beach, okay, in Rio, which is a place with beaches. And then he's going to say hello for 2 seconds. And then he's going to say, my name is, for 2 seconds. And then he's going to say his name. What's his name? He's going to say his name for 2 seconds, okay? So watch how this works. Remember, kitty name has Rex inside of it. And it says, say kitty name. Okay, so it's actually, is he gonna say kitty name? No. He's gonna say the value, which the value is REX. Okay, so ready? I'll hit the space. Ready? 1, 2, space. Hello? My name is Rex. Do you see that? But we can get even fancier with this, you guys. Remember how I did that fancy operation from the green operators? So these are operators that work on numbers, okay? And then down below this, remember when I was talking about Booleans could either be true or false? When you see these little corners on the blocks, that's because that block is a kind of Boolean, okay? But look down here, you guys, look down here. These blocks over here deal with strings, okay, or words with letters. Okay, so if I want to deal with words and letters, I'll go down here to the operators, and inside my operators, I have these operators which work on strings. Okay, so here's an operator called join, and it accepts 2 strings as what we call arguments, okay? So right here, I'm gonna go up here, and and let me show you how this works. I'm gonna change this to 5 seconds, okay? And then instead of saying join apple banana, I'm gonna join my name is, okay? And then over here, I'm gonna actually grab kitty name and I'm gonna put it right here. So then I don't need this block anymore. Because I have 1 block to say my name is Rex, okay? So I'm gonna hit space, he's gonna be at the beach, then he's gonna say hello for 2 seconds, and then he's gonna say my name is Rex for 5 seconds, okay? Ready? I'm gonna hit space. Hello. My name is Rex. But did anybody see a mistake with this? There's a mistake here. Did anybody notice? How do you get that on your computer? Julie, we're on scratch.com, okay? I'm gonna see if I can paste, maybe I still have it copied. Julie, I'm gonna show you guys one more time at the end of class, okay? Because we have a little bit of time. But let me talk about this, okay? I want everybody to tell me what's wrong with my code. When I hit space, he's gonna say hello, and then my name is Rex, okay? So I'm gonna do it, space. Let's find out what's wrong with this. Does anybody know what's wrong with it? There should be a space. Where should the space be? Yes, good eye. Very good, you guys. So how do you think we can do that? Well, if I go in here, okay, remember when I said that the spaces were characters? Spaces are part of a string, just like letters. So I can put a space at the end of my first string, and then there'll be a space. Let's see what happens now if I hit space. Hello, my name is Rex. See that? Okay, so just to be clear with everybody, there is a space right here after the S. Okay, and that's how I can put a space between the 2 letters when I use the join block. Okay, the join block. The green join operator that works on strings. Okay. So I know we have 15 minutes left in class, but I feel like that's enough for today. So let's make sure that everybody has a Scratch account, okay? How do you add a period after Rex? This is what I would do. To add a period after Rex, I'm going to take my join block down here, and I'm going to get another join block, okay? And right here, I'm going to take my first join block, and I'm going to stick it inside the first part of my second join block. So see, I have two join blocks, and one's inside the other. I've nested them. I've nested joins. And over here, what do you think I can put? A little period. See that? So you can just nest these as deeply as you want, okay? Now when I hit space, hello, my name is Rex, and you see the little period, okay? So, as you can see, by having a basic understanding of a very basic idea of just joining strings together, I can do it as many times as I need to do it to get the result that I need, okay? So this is part of what I mean when I talk about this is sort of where you kind of get into the decomposition, right? Like breaking a big problem down into smaller problems. When you break it down into smaller problems, then that allows you to kind of look at these sort of more complicated situations and kind of get in there, okay? Okay, so today we talked about data types. Okay, let me go back to my whiteboard, okay? Since it's crucial. It's crucial to have the ideas in your head too. We all talked about events more. Like when the doorbell rings for the pizza, that's an event. And then you are the event listener. You listen for the doorbell, and then you go and you handle the event by going and paying him at the door and getting the pizza, okay? So that's events, okay? And we're going to use those in our code. And then we talked more about variables, okay? This is a very important idea, okay? So in our code, we have two variables, right? We have the kitty speed, which is a number, and we have kitty name, which is a string, okay? It's got 3 letters in it, okay? It's a string with 3 letters, okay? And we also talked about Booleans a little bit. But I just want to remind you guys that if you want to say if something is true or false, or wait or listen, or if something needs to be true in order for your code to do something, then you're going to be dealing with Booleans, okay? And these are they're like 6-sided, kind of look almost like crystals, okay? But that's what we do in. Okay, so when I say Ethan, when I say number, that's kind of a catch-all, because when you say like int, double float, those are numbers, okay? So we're only going to be concerning ourselves with 3 basic things. And I mean, I know I did talk about characters, and when you say char, that's like a letter or a symbol, okay? That's what char means. But don't worry about that too much. Just think that whenever you need a word, reach for a string, okay? Because strings are going to help you with words and symbols, okay? All right. So let's see. Why did I pick bedroom 3? I picked bedroom 3. I don't need bedroom 3. It could be anything, okay? To pick a new backdrop, you go down here to choose a backdrop, and you have all these different backdrops to choose from. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that if you want to make your own backdrop, you can paint your own backdrop, okay? You can go down, like watch. You can go down here, and then you can just go up to the paintbrush and make your own. You could color your own, okay? And the same thing, you could make your own sprite. You can go down here. There's no rule that says you can't make your own sprite. You can make your own picture. You're not limited to just the cat. You could do anything. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and maybe I'll pretend to make an account for a second, okay? So everybody get your parents. If you don't have a Scratch account, please get your parents, have them sit down next to you and watch very carefully, because I'm gonna cover this with the last 10 minutes of class, okay? I'm gonna dedicate to getting ourselves a new Scratch account, okay? So I'm just gonna grab a browser that doesn't know who I am, and I'm gonna go straight to Scratch, okay? So this is as if you've never been to the website before. This is what you should see when you go to scratch.mit.edu. And now that I'm talking about it, I'll copy it one last time. A sprite is like a character or an object in your game, okay? The kitty is a sprite. If I had a ball in my game that the kitty could kick around, that I would need a sprite for that too. Okay? Okay, Jesse, it was funnier the first time. Okay, there you go. Scratch.mit.edu. Okay? So everybody, if you don't have a Scratch account, please have your parents go straight there. Okay. Okay, look. Let me do this, and I'll definitely be able to get that question answered, Lincoln. So just sit tight for a second. Let me focus on what I'm trying to do. I'm going to create a new account, okay? You can either start creating or you can join, okay? If you start creating, then you're not going to be able to save your project. So let's skip over to join, Join, okay? You go to join, and then you make a username. And so I'll be like, happy instructor, okay? And then I'm going to create a password. I'll say secret password, okay? And it's got to be the same, secret password. Now don't say secret password. As a matter of fact, you guys, it's even better if you use things that are not real words, okay? For a password, you don't want to use real words, okay? That's just the rule. There's certain rules for the internet. Your passwords should not be real words. You should never share personal information with strangers. Never, ever. Okay, so then I'm going to go to next. Okay, what country do you live in? Very good. I happen to live in the United States of America, so I'll pick United States of America. And then I'll say next. When were you born? Well, I was born on September of 1982. Okay? So then you choose when you were born, the month that you were born in, and the year you were born in, and then you say next. And then you have all this, you know, like another gender, whatever you want to say. I happen to, my pronouns are he, him, his, so I'll pick male, and I'll say next. And then it's going to ask me for my email. At this point, you need to be using your parents' email, okay? Because they're going to get an email that's going to have a link that you're going to be able to say, like, yes, I want an account. Okay, oh yes, happy birthday, thank you. How old will I be, you guys? Who was paying attention? No, but, okay, so that's all I want to say about creating an account. Yes, yeah, you were paying attention, thank you, Pranav. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about creating an account. Please do so, you guys, because then you know what we can do? We can do all kinds of fancy stuff. Watch what I'm going to do. I've already shared this project, but if I go into the project page, I can copy this link over here, okay? And if you had a little bit of trouble following along and you want to see how I accomplished what I accomplished, then you can go into my code. Okay, so there's the link to my project that I've been working on today with the beach and the kitty. If you want to know how to make the kitty move, that code is right there. I'll talk about it right now so that you understand how it works. But that's one thing that you can do. You can also go to Explore, okay? And if you have your own Scratch account, you can go in and you can grab somebody else's project. So I'm going to get this tic-tac-toe project. So I'm going to go here, and then I can play it, okay? I can make it full screen over here. I can play it. I can put it on easy and play the game. It's very good and very fun, and I won because it's on easy. But let's say that I didn't like that background. I didn't like that crazy red background that he had. So what I can do is I can go up here. Well, first of all, if I want to see how the code works, I can do this see inside with the two little arrows. And I can actually click that, and then that'll show me like the code, and I can look at all the different sprites in the game and see the different code that was written on the different sprites. So you can, if you're wondering how somebody made a game or something like that, you can actually go inside and see for yourself, okay? There's nothing to stop you. All right, so the other thing that I can do is I can hit this button. Let's say that I like the game, but there's something about it that I want to change. I can say remix. It's this little spirally gray button. So I'll remix it, and it says remixing. It's thinking a little bit. And then what? Now I have it, and it's going to be in my projects. On my project page is my own version of the tic-tac-toe. Okay? So I can actually change this code, make it my own, call it something different, and I can use as much or as little of the original code as I want, but I can change it based on mine. So you guys can take my project that we've been making in class, you can take that, you can remix it, and do whatever you want with it. You see? That's the beauty of Scratch. Okay, but let me go back into my project. Somebody asked, Lincoln asked, how do you make the cat move? How do I make him move? I put an orange control that says set speed to 100, but it doesn't move, okay? So let me just back up for a second. I'm going to go, well, let me just create a new project, okay? I can always delete a new project. So let's say I start from the very beginning, Lincoln, okay? You get my project by going into the chat. It's right there. I just posted it like 2 seconds ago. It says scratch.mit.edu/projects/421874208. Okay? You click that, that'll bring you to the project, okay? And you can also share the link to your project, okay? Okay, so Lincoln, I can make the kitty move by doing this, okay? You can set a speed and that's okay, but I'm just gonna grab an event listener. I'm gonna grab like when the space key is pressed, and then I'm gonna click the drop-down menu, and I'm gonna say up arrow, okay? When I say the up arrow, then now I'm gonna say, I can do two things, okay? I can say change Y by 10, and then there you go. Change Y by 10, okay? There's other ways to do that, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. My email, okay, look, I'll put my email, but the rule is that if you email me, we're not sharing personal information over the internet with anybody that we don't know and trust in the real world. So if you don't know them in person from the real world, then you don't share personal information with them, okay? That's a very important rule, okay? And since you guys don't know me in real life, then we don't share personal information. But if you want to email me with questions about class or something pertaining to coding or Scratch, feel free to email me. I'll try to answer your questions, okay? That's fine, okay? There you go. So, Lincoln, that's how I make a move, okay? I have an event listener tied to him. There's another way that I could do it. Okay, remember how I was talking about Booleans? Watch this. I can grab a different event listener when the flag is clicked, and I can go into control. And I'll talk more about this tomorrow, so if it doesn't make sense, then I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I'm going to grab a loop, okay? And anything I put inside here is going to happen again and again and again and again, forever and ever, okay? So now I can grab what's called a conditional statement, okay? This is only going to happen if the Boolean that I put in here is true. And again, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, so don't worry if I'm going too fast, then I'll go over it again tomorrow. And then I can go into sensing, and I have Booleans related to if a key is pressed. So I can say if the up arrow is pressed, then I can go into my motion blocks and I'll say change Y by 10. And there you go. Oh, I got to hit the flag to start it. So I hit the flag to start it, and now the up arrow will move him up. Okay? Did that kind of answer your question, Lincoln? Oh, I say tomorrow. We're going to have it on Tuesday. I'm sorry, I get a little confused sometimes. Okay, awesome. Okay, everybody. I think that's it for today. Thank you, moderator. So we will be meeting again on Tuesday, everybody, and I'm going to be talking more about this. We're going to be talking about loops and conditional statements. It's going to be lots of fun. It's really going to open up a lot of options for you. You're going to be able to do some amazing things, okay? Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.